Let's do that.
Many.
Yeah.
Let's offer the easy question. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Jenny Eisler and I'm Clark's Director of Sustainability. Someone who's never heard of sustainability, I don't even like the word, I would say to them, what makes you happy? What makes you sing inside? You know what it is? 99% of the time, people will answer that with being outside somewhere, hearing a bird song, running, playing with my kid on the beach, a vacation outside. People will answer that with their relationship to nature. Climate is changing. Weather is what's happening today. Climate is the collection of that. This planet is old. Oceans have risen and fallen. Ice sheets have covered where we're standing right now. So the difference between the phases of climate over billions and billions of years and what we have now, anthropogenic climate change, is the acceleration. Is that hockey stick curve you're familiar with? We're going along like this, and then all of a sudden the carbon dioxide shoots up in that hockey stick curve. That's the classic thing. Laying so many other things over that same graph, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, laying over industrial production, laying over income inequality, laying over the spread of disease. Every single thing that you can look at mimics that hockey stick curve. Right around the Industrial Revolution and World War II, the world changed radically. Capitalism, greed took over, and that meant that consumption, that meant everybody have a car. You know, Henry Ford Oprah wasn't the first to say, you have a car, that was Henry Ford. The more people could afford cars, the more they could move around, the more they could have larger families because food became more abundant. We moved away from an agrarian society into a industrial society. We're now in a post-industrial society, except for the emerging countries, the emerging world, which is following behind us. So when I say that the cause of anthropogenic climate change is greed, man got greedy for more. More snow, more severe storms. That's what we're really going to see. That's what in our lifetimes we're going to see, is extreme swings of climate, drought, excessive rain, depending on where you live, what part of the geography you're in. You're looking at extreme storms, you're looking at high, intense rainfall, rather than the same amount of rain over a long period of time, you're seeing it in one day. So those types of extreme weather patterns impact our existing infrastructure. I've seen that as well, and I'm sure you have. Flooded street drains, parched out, dried out places that used to have grass, maybe some of the fields you play on. A lot of the impacts of climate change are going to be seen in weather, in extreme weather in this part of the United States. We've experienced Sandy, we've experienced Katrina, who's next? So I like to look at the beautiful solutions of resilience. I like to look at the ways that communities and towns around the world are becoming transition towns and looking to transition to a carbon-free future or a less carbon future. I find these examples, and there are towns around the world that are looking at ways of teaching, skill sharing for skills and ways that we're going to need to be in the future, that are nurturing bike paths and horses and things like that, where it paints a beautiful community picture. And yes, the critics say that harkens back to, the old days. Okay. Some of those things, when you actually knew your neighbors and trusted each other and took a while to get from point A to point B, there was some value in that. So do I see a cure-all, a magic bullet? No. Do I see a process of relearning, of building resilience in ourselves, in our communities, of reskilling for things that we're going to need to know how to do in the future, much as our grandparents and great-grandparents did? Absolutely. Do I see a beautiful future? Absolutely.